G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Here you go. Today, going to do a little bit of an update around the yard, not a massive one. And also, got some trees from the brother Josh. Cheers, Josh. Some cherry trees, so we're going to pot them up. Just recently dug, and we'll see how they go. But anyway, let's have a bit of a look around, see what's been going on. Okay, so the lawn is looking pretty shabby, you know. Had a few weeds in it, I sprayed them off. It's starting to green up again in spring, but it's got a long way to go to become immaculate again. There was a few weeds in here, and it's got a bit of a yellow tinge about it. But I'm going to hit it with some good strong fert soon and get it going. I'll just give you a quick walk around. This rosemary hedge is starting to grow. Last time I showed this, I think it was, you know, a pretty poor hedge. So you can see the lawn's looking a bit shabby, but we'll get into that soon because it's warming up. Okay, so here's the rosemary hedge. Where the water runs to off the lawn is the best. It runs to this corner. You can see how good the rosemary hedge is starting to look on that corner. Also, we got a new vehicle. Here's the cherry trees that I've got to pot up, but you'll see them in the shed, so that's all good. Work, well, this is where I work. Glenavon Nurseries, Langhorne Creek. Anyway, the trimmings of the vines that we trim, good for mulch, so I've been collecting it from work, mulching the beds, so cheers to the boss for that. And I think I'm up to 30 boxes on the garden beds at the moment, and I've only done one side. So I'm going to need a bit more, but you can see that mulch growing in there. You can see where the plants are now, lots of plants. Look at that sun, beautiful. Look at the scenery out here. In winter, you wouldn't know that it's part desert. Absolutely beautiful. Broken trampoline from the wind. But look at that. Absolutely beautiful. We've got the dog here. What are you eating grass for, eh? What you doing? What you doing? Crazy boy. Protea of some description is putting out flower buds. I'm not going to individually show you every plant, but you get the idea. So that's getting mulched there. This garden bed's pretty well done. Daisy bush, pretty flowers. Protea, some description. Look at those flowers. Just so many plants in here. So many. This area here is pretty void of plants because that is just a massive rock slab. You can't dig anything into it, and if you try, it'll die. So that is what it is. Quince tree starting to shoot there. Got some lemons, some fig trees, lime, crepe myrtles, pomegranate, butterfly bush. There's a wheelbarrow. This is what I got up to here. So whipper snipped it pretty hard first, and then I'm laying the mulch. So that side's done. Still got to do the other side. Look at that. It's a beautiful calm night. I wasn't going to do a bit of an update on the yard, but you got that calm. Hello, you coming for a walk, are you? Yeah, you come for a walk? I wasn't going to do an update on the yard, but it's so calm and so peaceful right now and beautiful that, you know, it inspired me to do a bit of an update. So also we've planted trees around this edge here, and trees more down there now. That's all trees. The old trees there are growing. You can see them, they're growing. Tanks are nearly full of rainwater, so that's pretty cool. More in this roundabout type thing. We've done the roundabout. The wife laid all the rocks. Another one over there, a little garden bed. Oh, the path, I'll just show you that. Okay, so a while ago I said I haven't been doing many videos. That's because I was doing this path around here. I've still got to do the other side of the house, but all of this path here, this rock path, is all new. All the stones and cement mixed and laid by hand. All the way out here. All the way out here. Wife's succulent garden's going well, look at that. Beauty. And anyway, so yeah, laid it out around here, gas bottles. And then we put the pavers that were out the front here just for now to keep the dirt down, but eventually this will hopefully be deck if we can get finances together. Back lawn's looking horrible, full of weeds. So shocker. Gum tree's growing well in the back lawn where it shouldn't have been. It was a bonsai, but it outgrew the pot. Smashed into the ground. And now look at the size of it. Look at that, it's cracked apart. Absolutely huge now. Could possibly dig it up and turn it into a bonsai still, but geez, it's big. It's bloody tall. Okay, bonsai area's still looking pretty good. The wind hasn't killed the shade yet. I'll just show you a couple of trees while I'm here. Still got to work on that hawthorn there. But here's my very first ever tree. We did a repot on it a while ago and I exposed some roots there. And you can see how nice bright green the new spring growth is. So that's pretty cool. Really cool. Here's the other ash tree there. The cedar that I planted in that rock is now, look at this guys, even though I went pretty hard on it and wondered whether I went too hard, it's got new shoots and buds on it everywhere. She's popping hard, popping hard. There's that silver birch that we just did in the last video. Hope you guys can see that. Chinese elm's popping, the little one. The cuttings for the Chinese elm, look at that. That one's got leaf all over it. And the other ones have got buds swelling on them. Chinese elms, crazy things. Look at the buds swelling on it. Oh, come on, focus. There you go. It's going to have full leaf on all these cuttings. Now, when they get full leaf on Chinese elm cuttings, don't take them out and assume they have roots, because they actually take a while to get rooted. Wisteria over there is going okay. It's going to have a massive amount of flowers this year, so it'll be pretty exciting to look at. Love you, mate. Love you. Doing well. Oh, this is the olive that we did a repot on. Really cool. That pot and olive are just magic how much they suit each other. I really like the dark look of the pot, so I've actually sprayed it with a polyurethane clear spray. I can't remember the brand of the spray, but anyway, it gives it the wet look permanently and it sets hard and is durable, so that's pretty cool. Loving that pot now. Not much else to show in here. Everything else is pretty dormant. Crepe myrtle's still dormant. Trident maple's waking up. Japanese maple's waking up. Red pine is looking yellow as yellow. I don't know. I've never seen it look that yellow in my life. So see how she goes. I tell you what, if it does wake up, buds are sort of swelling, but jeez, it looks bad. The needles are still holding. They're still tough. So I assume it's doing okay. I don't know. We haven't had that many frosts, so I wouldn't have thought it should have turned that yellow. I'm guessing it's been overwatered this winter because we've had quite a lot of rain. I've pulled any dripper out of that pot so that it doesn't get wet anymore, because my thought of it is we're going to have to repot that this year. I think it's just not draining anymore. Yeah, and it's just staying wet as wet. Yeah, box thorn's doing okay that we carved. Starting to shoot out in places. Other places are a bit slow, but we'll see how we go. What else? There's the one that went through the cement mixer. It's doing okay. It hasn't really put out a new shoot, so see how that goes, but it's doing okay. Chinese elm that we worked on recently. Look at that. Even got getting some lichen on the trunk. Because I don't have chlorine in my water and it's untreated, I'm actually starting to get lichen on quite a few trees now, which is really cool. I've always been super jealous of Nigel Saunders' lichen that he gets, and now that I'm out of town and I don't have town water, I'm starting to get it myself, so pretty cool. You can see this elm's starting to grow great guns, starting to really push out. What else? Let's head up the hill now. We've had a look around there. The other cement path, rock path, is going to go along this side of the house, come along here and go to the shed. And I'm also going to have a path go around there to the tap for the bonsai. So really excited about that, but a lot of extra work. I'm just trying to get trees out the way first. Well, not out the way, but you know, work on a heap of trees that need working on for spring and repotting. And then after that's done, I'm going to get heavily into doing some more rock work, because the garden bed's really suffered during all my rock work. But I've caught up with that. Pop-ups, obviously I showed you that. That's all in. All the weeds are dying around the agapanthus. I sprayed all that. Hopefully didn't spray the agapanthus too much. Doing really well. I'll just show you in the shed here. We had a pretty heavy frost last night, just a late frost. Getting late in the season for a frost. So I had to put a lot of my bonsais in here just to protect them from the frost with their new growth. So there's a devil's plum, fully shooting out, flower buds. Bottle brushes with the flower buds. Didn't want to take a risk on them because they can burn in a frost. Almond tree's going great. Really, really nice, beautiful, beautiful shiny leaves. Good strong shoots, and it's even producing lots and lots of almonds. So let's see how it goes for almonds this year. Wife's home, she's beeping at me. It's her style. She loves it. Beep, beep, I'm home. The Queen is home, everyone. The Queen is home. Don't talk too loud, she might hear me. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Another sunset coming along. I'll just show you up the hill before I repot these few trees. Just to show you how it's going on up the hill here. So, really cool. Look at that. Such a beautiful view. Great place to live. Best thing I ever did was move out of town. If anyone's up in the air about moving out of town, come and move out here. And if anyone wants to move next to me, that place is for sale. Unfortunately, I can't afford it. I want to, but I can't. There's 160 acres around me for sale. So anyone wants to move next to Aussie Bonsai Bloke, come out here and share the passion with me. Beautiful spot to live, absolutely beautiful. So that's for sale. Look at that. These are my trees that are planted. Oh, not my trees. You never own a tree. I'm just a caretaker now. Got them in the ground, got them going. Now I'm the caretaker. No one can own a tree. Look at that. I can't even reach the top. It's probably 9 foot tall now. That's my tallest one. Look at that. Noisy riffraffs just arrived, I can hear. kids and the wife, and looks like my little peace and quiet, tranquility is gone, but that's life, and I love the family. What else? Oh, along here, I'll just show you, there's some flowers. So some of my first trees I planted 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, not quite, haven't even been here 3 years. Got buds, you're going to flower this year. And some of them already have just started. Some more buds here. Pretty cool. Now, another thing I wanted to show you guys is we had 25 mil of rain, and I've gone along with the loader and dug out all these spots everywhere where I've just dug deep holes so the water can collect rather than run off into the neighbour's land. Now it collects and stays in ours. That there is at least knee deep, maybe more, so I'm not going to go in that one today, it's too cold. Yeah, anyway, beautiful. And there's probably another 5 dig outs like that around the place. Down there's another big one down there full of water. I will go show you it, but just let's first take this in. Just love it out here, love it. Right, let's go look at the other 2 water holes and then in the shed for repotting. Okay, another water hole here. You can see how the water's run down and all collected in there, so that's pretty cool, rather than run off to never be seen again. So it hasn't rained for two nights now, and we've still got lots of water lying around. So I'll just show you some more holes. Tank's nearly full here. There's another big hole over there, absolutely full of water as well, but I'm not going to show you that one because I can't be bothered walking over there, and we've got to do the repot and it's almost dark, and I've got to spread more of that mulch, so lots to do, so no time for walking. So here's the tank, almost dead full. Kids jumps for the motorbike. So it served as 2 purposes. We got water collecting there. We got their jumps. It's fairly heavy ground, almost clay, so the jumps actually work well and set like a rock. Tabletop. Massive water hole here. Huge water hole. Like there's my foot, and then look out there. Absolutely full of water. You can imagine when that tank starts overflowing, that will help fill this up as well, but at the moment the tank hasn't overflowed, it's still filling. And I'll just show you just over here, there's another big water hole. So we're collecting a lot of water around the place, stopping it from running off, so that's awesome. Wow, look at that, stunner. Absolutely stunner. Whew. Bit bright on the camera, but you get the idea. Big water hole. Look at that reflection. Absolutely stunning. Through the property. Look at all that water. Who would want to live anywhere else? Beautiful. First of all, look at this. Well, first cute dog, really cute dog. But then look at all this mess. Been doing a lot of repotting and mucking around, and because I've been doing one after another, I felt it not necessary to clean up, but I'm gonna have to now. Absolute mess. Anyway. Aussie Bonsai Bloke here, welcome back. Okay guys, well, we had a frost last night. It's destined to be pretty cold tonight, so I've got the old Central Speenie on. Got a bit of port. Gonna have a glass of port tonight. Good way to finish the week. Friday night, you know. Good glass. Good full glass. Beauty. Go. And here are the cherry trees from my brother's house. So let's have a look. Cheers, Josh. Much appreciated. So he had a couple of cherry trees there, and then I'm not sure whether some others grew from suckers or whether he just had that many cherry trees. I don't know, but he always got a lot of cherries. Lives in the hills, so they got a good climate for it. So here we go. I was just going to get one, but they dug up a few more, so I've got a few more. So here we go. Here's one cherry tree with some sort of a clump style of trees. Pretty cool. However we end up doing that is however we end up doing it. It's all good. Alright, then we got this straight, you know, baseball bat. Maybe a chin up bar, you know. Got something going on there. Twin trunker here, small twin trunker. Pretty cool. They seem to get reasonable root bases, good root flare. Anyway. Alright, I'll just put some on the ground for now, in amongst all the other mess. I will clean this shed up after, maybe after this video, I think, because it's starting to get hard to move. Okay, that's them. Now, for the big beast. So here is the main event. Don't need that on there. To the side. The main event of the evening here is this cherry tree here. Put that on the ground with the other junk. You can see, got ourselves a twin trunk. Should make something eventually. I will say, you know, twin trunk's fine. I will say the two trunks are similar size, but that's fine. I'll cut one down shorter, have one taller, and basically it'll be super simple. I'll just cut them down, and then whatever reshoots, and be all good. And I'm just going to cut back these roots pretty hard, just in the thought of, you know, eventually it's going to have to go into a bonsai pot. And I'd like, you know, when you first collect a tree like this, you're better off going hard at it to start, and then, you know, later on you don't have to do any real hard cutbacks, so you're better off going hard to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean out some of this soil. He left this soil on here to keep it nice and wet for me, which is really good of him. And I was able to find time to go and pick it up. So here we are. Bloody beauty. So, you know, we've got to basically decide which front we like more as well. What I might do, I'm actually just going to go and spray this down and bare root it completely. Depending on the type of tree, I like to leave some of the original soil, but being a deciduous, I'm sure we can cut it back pretty hard and bare root it, and it should be fine. I might leave a little bit underneath, but not too much. Mainly I just want to see what's going on so I can see where I can cut it back, and then I can cut it back without blunting the soil too much, because there won't be a lot of dirt in there. So let's go do that. I think that's the best plan. So let's do that. obviously top's going to be easy, 2 cuts. Bottom, a little bit more, you know, a little bit more mucking around. But you're better off doing all the hard cuts now, getting it all cut back. So then if it does survive, or, I mean, I must say when it survives, because it will. When it reshoots, you know that you've got the bottom all cleaned out and nice, and then you just got to develop the top. So do it all when you first collect it, you know, cut it back hard. And like I've always said, little amount of effort has gone into the tree at the moment. So if it did die, which I don't think it will, but if it did, it means that little effort's gone in, so it's not the end of the world. But I'm pretty certain it should be fine. So I'll just go wash it out and then I'll come back. So let's do that. Okay guys, well, we've got it washed out all the others. And I've got so much junk around my feet that it's annoying, but there you go. Now, what we'll do is we'll start cutting away. There's some reasonably good, this root here is too strong, and there's some reasonably good ones under it, which is fine, except the other side doesn't have any good roots under it. So if I was to cut that on an angle out, you'd have to rely on some good roots shooting from the side. But a root plane here would be quite good because it'd give it good flare. This one here I reckon I could cut off and have some flare underneath there. Or just keep the 2 big fat ones here. Or I could cut this one off and leave 1 big fat one there. Decisions. Very hard. Okay. Okay, hard decisions. So, basically, there is a good one here. Let's go to that one. And I would rather have 3 smaller roots than 1 massive fat one. And now, there is roots underneath, so let's try it. Let's see what happens. Go for it. Ready? Steady! Go! Alright guys, there goes that one. See these ones underneath. It's a way better transition. There's another good one at the back here, which will take over. That bit will rot out because it's probably dead now. So that's that side sorted. Okay, let's keep going around. Alright, we got some good ones here and a really bad one here. So let's chop that one off. Whoops, just nicked the top of that root. That's right. Now, alright, we got that. The back here, well, I'm going to call it the back because the root's pretty average. There's nothing really there at all. Okay, these here, let's cut them back. Just because there's nothing on there, there's no roots, there's nothing that's going to feed the tree. So let's chop it back up. Add to the mess on the ground. Now, what do we do? There's not really anything under that, guys, you know? If I get rid of... I don't know, if I get rid of it, it's going to be inverse taper, but if I don't, it's a bloody fat root and looks kind of ugly. So what do? Do I cut it on an angle and hope stuff grows? Alright, done. Let's do it. Like I say, do the hard cuts now, and if it survives, which it still should, it should give you a better tree later, as long as some roots come out of this section. Otherwise we're very limited as to what's going to look good. I could leave it. I could leave it and cut that way. And then we've got this big fat root here. Or I could go that way. Hopefully get some division. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think, you know, this way won't ruin the tree. If you have that as a fat root there, so be it. It's still not going to ruin the tree having that one. If I was to cut it that way and nothing grew and it died, the tree's ruined. There's nothing out that side at all. And I assume this root here is feeding this whole trunk here. The back side of the tree is quite ugly. Oh man, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. Right. Okay, so here we've cut that back. We've got to there. For this side here, I'm happy just to leave it bigger. Leave it higher, come from higher and go lower. And we can make it work. Definitely make it work. If I was to cut it like that and hope for something to grow out, one, it could take years, and two, it might not work. So this trunk could actually die because that's pretty well that whole trunk. So I'm just going to do it, cut it that way, let some of these take over, and it will still be a really awesome tree with a really awesome root base. So I'd still be pretty happy with that. So, all right, let's cut that. Okay, so there's that one gone. Now what? Well, we're getting down to the finer end of it all. So this is how you deal with a urban Yamadori, basically. And this is also a great video for beginners. It might not seem like beginner material, but it is, because this is a type of thing that anyone can get from anywhere, so long as you know someone. Even if you go up to a landscaper and say, look, for the next cherry tree you rip out, I'll give you 50 bucks. So, you know, they probably go and re-landscape or an earth mover someone's garden, and it would have got thrown in the dump. They may have even had to pay for dumping costs. And if you go up to them and say, I'll give you 50 bucks for every deciduous tree that you pull out, give them a list of trees you like. This is available to anyone, something like this. So just keep that in mind, you know. You don't have to start everything from a seedling or a cutting. Some things can be collected like this. Deciduous trees. It's not working so well. They're a bit flimsy. So what I'll do is I'll just come in here with my snips. Nice clean cut, and just chop them back a bit. Leaving the fine feeder roots if you can. I know there's not a lot of them left, but there is still some. Okay, let's just chop it back as much as we dare. Okay, and you're left with something like that. You know, that's pretty normal repot. Let's clean off this table again. This floor, or you know, the ground of the shed is absolutely disgusting. I'm walking on mud. If you guys could see what I'm walking on, it's shocking. I seriously got to give this place a good clean up after I'm finished. Right, so that is what I would probably call the back, but could potentially be the front, because you've got some fine feeder roots here which could fatten up. You've got some nice flare on roots here and nice roots there. It could potentially be the front in the future. Here you could call that the front, but you would have to lean it way forward. Okay, and this is where I would say plans can change. I would have said definitely front roots, definitely better roots. But to get that to lean forward towards you guys, have a look what the back's doing. Miles in there. There's no way you're going to ever get a pot that's going to suit that. So guess what? That's now become the front. Has to be. There's no other way. The roots are going to grow out here. Hopefully we'll get some more roots come out here once it's in soil and we find in a pot. I'll just chop the back a bit shorter. Maybe we'll just go a little bit shorter. Chop some of these finer ones back a little bit, not too bad. And that's now the front of the tree. And then over time, these roots here should develop. There's a good nodule here of roots that are trying to develop. So let's hope they develop more. And that's it. So that's that bit. Now, top. Wow. If we did, you know, a trunk chop on this side from where you can see some prominent, I guess, areas where it wants to shoot. If you went down here, I think it's too low, you're losing too much. You went in the middle here, you're risking it because there's no buds here. Here's where there's a lot of buds. Alright, so that one's cut off. Now, let's cut this side off. Probably from up top here. Trying to hold it at the same time is pretty hard, but let's do it. Whoa! Holy man, I just snapped the blade in half. Whoo! Just pure snapped it in half. Can I break that off? Yeah, I can. Alright, let's break that off. Might create some interest where I break it off. And then eventually, you know, I'm going to have to carve that anyway, so whatever happens with that happens. But anyway, it's probably going to be the front for now. Going to pot it up like that. Okay, I've got a few pots here. Let's see what fits. Okay, will this one fit? Definitely not. So let's have a look at this one. This is where I had the big olive in, literally only a day or so ago. Where we repotted it into the pool table pot. Okay. So here we go. Just going to chuck it in, squirm it round a bit, fill it up. Just plain, whatever you can find, pot mix, whatever. Cheap stuff is fine. Okay. Just fill it up, fill up the roots, and then let it recover. You can tell that one was a cheap mix because that was almost pure pine bark. Okay, and then I'm just going to squash it down, take it outside, water it. I might give it some more, make it a bit taller. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go to some more premium stuff, the succulent mix. That's fine, you know. This could potentially be, you know, a masterpiece in 10-15 years. So the extra money spent on it now on potting mix, which is bloody cheap really. Succulent mix is only 13 bucks. It is definitely a better quality. And then I'm just going to bury it like that. We're going to water it, look after it, let it grow branches out to the side, and then start styling it next summer. But for this summer, it's just going to be allowed to grow. So there's that one done. Woo, it's heavy. Oh yeah. Really ugly one. It's getting super ugly. Look at that thing. What are you going to do with that? Well, I'll tell you what we do. We chop it back hard. Really chop back hard. I do have some big snips somewhere, but lost them. Some loppers. I do have some loppers, but let's just use the little snips for now. Alright, so that's that. I think we plant it because of the roots and all that. Get rid of that root. Get rid of these. Let those develop. There's not a lot at the back, but they might develop out the bottom here. I'm going to shorten that because that's ugly. Shorten that one. Like I say, not a lot of investment's gone into this, like literally a couple of minutes. So, and then we're going to plant it on an angle like that. And hope that, you know, roots and stuff develop out here and out the back. Create a nice tree. And then we're going to also cut the main trunk back really hard. I'll just get some snip, get the saw. Okay. So if that's that, I want to chop. How tall do we want this tree? Probably in the long run, about here. I reckon here, down the trunk to that section. Okay. It's probably not going to be a bad option. So let's do that. And then we've got, you know, areas where it can grow. Damn it, I just cut straight almost through the bud, Sammy. What are you doing? Anyway, it's still good. Managed to not quite get to the bud area. Tell you what, these Japanese saws, like if you watched that bit in there trying to cut through, this here takes so much less effort. Okay, that's that part of the top gone. Now, I know it looks ugly now, it really does, like it looks crazy ugly, but guys, when them roots spread out here, get a nice big fat branch off here and you can develop a whole new apex. Something like that can actually turn into something bloody beautiful within 6 or 7 years. So that's why I say, grow something in the ground, get it out. And you might laugh at this thing, but I tell you what, if a good shoot comes from this bud here, which I assume it will, goes out for miles, and get some nice other shoots and apex out of here, man, you could end up with a really nice tree. Roots will grow here. You can end up with a really nice tree really quick. So, you know, go for it. Don't. It's not quite enough room. See that? It's not quite enough room. Yes, I could fit it, say, potting mix, but it's not quite enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in here. I'm going to keep it pretty shallow. Alright. So I'll plant it in there. And I'll screw it in towards the bottom. It's going to be planted really deep in this pot, so from now on, you know, you guys probably won't see a lot on this tree, because I'm literally now just going to cover the roots, push it in, punch in the soil, and that's it, you know. Bugger all time. We've got it in the pot. Water it, look after it, and in about 5 years' time, hopefully it's developed a nice top. We can repot it and find some good roots that have developed, and it will be a good tree. And that's as simple as bonsai is. Find a stock like this. It's only a stick at the moment, or a handbrake. Call it a handbrake tree. And then you just cut it, cover the roots, develop it, and see how she turns out in another 5 years. And my assumption of this tree is actually going to turn out into a really nice tree, although it does not look like it now. And obviously just go and water it. So, next tree. Let's get the next tree out. Okay, here we go. This is another tree. Alright, so let's try and find some nice roots on a plane that is acceptable. So we'll cut down some of these top roots until we get to these bottom roots, which look better. And then literally I'm just going to go around and just chop them. Okay, let's chop this one off. Chop the ball off down there. Get rid of the big ball down the bottom. Chop everything else pretty level on the same plane. This one is up too high, chop it off. And that's it. You got another tree. Now, for taper, let's have a bit of a think about it. I feel like that's a node there. Okay. If I was to keep all the way up here, it would look silly because you've got two trunks competing the same. I'm pretty sure that's a node there, so I'm going to cut back to that node. You can see how good this saw is. Just chop straight through. Now, this other trunk, I feel like I just want to chop this top section off here. A lot of inverse taper on that top section. Chop that off, snip the rest with the snips. what do we got left? Well, still not overly happy with all that. So let's chop at a big angle this way and just leave this one leader here. Okay, pretty happy with that now. Got our small trunk, which should hopefully shoot out here. A little branch there, the main apex here, and we'll just let it shoot. And that's it, that's that one done. Put it in a small pot, definitely fit in there, that's fine. I might even just trim back all these real heavy ones a bit more, so we can create some more branch root division close to the trunk. And by the way, this is not just how you look after a cherry tree, it's how you look after pretty well all deciduous trees. Okay, all deciduous trees within reason grow similar to this, so there you go. Same thing, I'm going to put it deep in there, put a heap of soil on top, so that at least for the first year I don't waste a lot of soil. And if it survives the first year, I might repot it up a little bit bigger pot next year. See how we go, but for now, it's staying in a small pot. If you're really keen, you can cut the top of the pot off. It's too brittle. It's an old bit brittle. There you go, pretty well worked out. And basically that's it. I'm just gonna leave that in there for another year, see how it grows. Front's there somewhere. Root base is actually pretty good on that one. Really nice root base. So there's another one done. Now, got the last one. So let's get into that one. Chop back the roots at the top that you don't want. Branches that are a bit weird, you can cut back a little bit. A massive crossing root, I'll chop off. I'll cut off a main bottom root here that I just don't want. And then hopefully some of these other ones here will take over and it'll give us quite a nice looking tree. And chop it back pretty hard. Okay, like I say, chop it back hard the very first time. It's like a free chop back, and one, you haven't put in any effort, and two, the tree has its most energy straight after collecting. And these roots here are the ones that I probably want to keep as a front, judging by the rest of the tree. Okay, so let's chop this off. Okay, chop that off. Chop that off. Ugly bit here. Got a small trunk there. Nothing there. Reverse over here, so let's get rid of that. smaller trunk at the front there. Chop. Just give it a big chop. And that's probably all I'll do for that tree. Let's repot it. I will get rid of this bulb in the bottom, so let's get another bit for the saw. Let it go. Done. Done. As you can see, got the bulb off the bottom. That'll be the roots for the future. And let's, you know, lean it forward like that. Might just chop it back a little bit harder on these roots. And yeah, this is brutal, you know, definitely brutal, and a good chance that this tree could die because I've cut it back so hard. But like I keep saying, now's the time to do it, not later, because little investment has actually gone into it. Let's just chop this back. Bloody hard to try and hold anything here. Beauty. That's better. Right, let's get in the pot. It's going to need a big pot, this one. It's probably a big enough pot for this one. So let's get it in there. And you know, a lot of you guys might think this is very ruthless the way I'm treating these trees, but they're deciduous, they're extremely strong. And like I keep harping on about, you're better off treating it this hard now and getting a good root base. And I'm at a perfect time of year where they'll probably all shoot. I can't see a problem. But you can literally take cuttings off these trees and they'll grow. So I can't see a problem with them growing. So now is a perfect time to be doing all the root work you're ever going to do. And from now on, you know, if they survive, which they should, from now on, all you're doing is doing positive work. You're building the roots, you're building the top. If I was to not cut it back hard enough now and try and save everything so that it recovered easier, which it would recover quicker and easier if you did leave everything, but then you're going backwards later. You're reducing the roots, you're reducing the top. Stuff that you didn't want to cut off now, you'll have to keep addressing later and cutting back later. But because I've gone so hard on it to start, now all we're doing is building and building and building. So as long as it recovers and shoots, you're building the roots, you're building the top, then you're building the roots, building more top. You're potting it up into a bigger pot than this probably, and then you'll get into another pot this size, and you're building it up, building it up, building it up, and everything's moving forwards, building it up. You don't have to get back in there later and cut it back hard. There's none of that because you've already done all the hard work on the very first treatment. And if the tree's going to survive, well, great. And it should, because like I've always said, the most energy is right at the start, right when you first get into it. So anyway, you know, that's pretty much that. That's the trees all done, all repotted. Fair bit of work's been done, but necessary work. Well, I've got an absolute mess down here, absolute mess. So anyway guys, we'll keep you updated on how these go during the spring. Basically if they start shooting out shoots during spring, it means they're all good. So I'll just get them all back on the table and then say our goodbyes. Cheers. Okay guys, cheers for watching. Aussie Bonsai Bloke. I've showing you here some cherry trees. Hopefully this one here will be a masterpiece someday. I've got some good hope for the others as well, especially this one here. Looks like a handbrake, but slanting style, cut back, and that one's got awesome roots buried in this pot. And that's it. You just do that, bury, you know, cut the roots hard, cut the tops hard, bury them, and then everything else is building, building, building. I'm about to sneeze, that's why I'm acting weird. And yeah, anyone has access to this sort of material. Whether you talk to your friends, neighbours, whatever, someone ripping out a tree or a landscaper and buy them off them $50 because otherwise they have to pay to dump them. So they'll be happy to sell them for $50. So no worries, cheers for watching guys. Catch you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a fairly long one, including the tour of the property. Hope you enjoyed that too. And yeah, cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Definitely tell your mates about the channel. The more it grows, the more I'm willing to do more videos. Keep commenting, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.